This is a presentation of RVT Entertainment.
Quiet on the set, please! Silence! Silence!
I knew you'd come. I'm not finished with you!
I am the cream, yeah. The cream of the crop.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening.
Because we don't just set the bar, we are the bar.
Hey, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wrestle-Cast, presented by RVT Entertainment on the BrokenInfinite.com, Podomatic.com, iTunes, and wherever else you may find this fine audio recording and live on RVT Entertainment's official Twitch.tv channel. A good-hearted congratulations to Awesome Games Done Quick, 2.3 million total raised. We are now in the clear. We are now facing off against Just Impact Wrestling. So if you don't like Josh Matthews and don't want to tolerate and can tolerate an evening without Don Callis, we are your alternate commentary / wrestling thing this week. Hopefully you enjoy. We're here to talk about professional wrestling, both in the mainstream and in the independent scene. My name is Matty Jay, and TWK can't make it tonight. Long story short, work. He has to get up at fuck you in the morning, especially on a Saturday, to get to work at 8 a.m. So rather than just go through what we are about to go through, it's going to be a regular show, but with more people involved. I told him, take a rest. He's not worried about getting to work. He's just worried about getting to sleep. I said, get your sleep. We'll talk tomorrow. That being said, though, this time I'm not solo. Though, I did have a solo show on Monday, in case you haven't noticed. Had a good time. You should join me, 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday Night Matty. But I'm not alone. My name's Matty Jay, and joining me, ladies and gentlemen, is first off Matis LeonHart.
Hey, that's right, I am the most glorious Jew that ever lived in, your wrestling rabbi, and I've now officially launched the video era, and I have a brand new theme song. Matty, you want to hear a brand new theme song?
Sure, as long as it's because we're putting this on YouTube as well. I hope it's not one of them copyright busting thingamabobs.
Well, it's world's greatest. People tell me that there should be a problem with that, but I don't know what they mean. What do they mean, Matty?
Here's the thing: it's a copyright thing. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure R. Kelly wouldn't mind. I mean, it's not like he has any controversy surrounding him.
So I don't think Soulja Boy would mind either, but it's a free plug. Anyway, you're not alone here. Well, the original plan was to be myself and T-Dub and then Mattis, and then Mattis couldn't make it, then he makes it. And then T-Dub couldn't make it. So in the meanwhile, I decided to ask this guy to come in. And hopefully he's your buddy Pete Dunne's in there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Shintigercurl.
Hold on there just a minute, Matty.
Hey! Petey Dunne! Bud, congratulations on the defense.
First and foremost, thank you. Secondly, you bloody bastard. I remember what you did last time I was on the bloody show.
Uh-oh.
You wouldn't let me do my best of year in review for 2018.
Let's see. All of them was Pete Dunne except for female wrestler of the year, which I believe you said a lady version of Pete Dunne, a.k.a. Becky Lynch.
How would you bloody know? I didn't give you the list.
Shin gave me the copy of the list.
No, you
Actually.
didn't.
Yeah, he did.
I've got the bloody list right here. Okay. Best wrestler of the year, Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Best female wrestler of the year, Pete Dunne's sister, Patricia Dunne. Best tag team of the year, Pete Dunne and Pete Dunne's tag team partner, Pete Dunne's clone. Best on the mic, Pete Dunne when he opens his gob. best promo of the year, again, anytime I open my bloody gob. Best announcer of the year, Pete Dunne when he feels like being on the announce team, also Mauro Ranallo.
Best match of the year. Good choice, actually.
Best match of the year, anytime Pete Dunne gets in the ring to knock the granny out of some poor sod. Let's see. Most improved of the year, Pete Dunne's left testicle. Most underrated of the year, Pete Dunne's right testicle. Best show of the year, any show that Pete Dunne decides to show up at, except for Raw. And finally, oh my God moment of the year is when Pete Dunne beats the ever-living crap out of that tosser, Walter.
All right, he's not intimidated. I was going to ask about the Walter guy there.
So, Pete, how's your wife, AJ Styles?
Oh, God.
She's not my wife. I've got better standards. I know where AJ's been. I know who she was with. I have better standards than that because
But I hear she's phenomenal.
Phenomenally bad, if you mean.
Hey, we should probably mention the fact that, despite the fact you didn't hear the thing because we were still doing the flippin' intro, big thank you to the Evil Reverend for 8 months as a Tier 1 subscriber here on the Twitch. Thank you very much. You gotta wait till we turn on the thing. Not turn on the thing so the noise can happen.
Yes.
But thank you nonetheless.
Hello, Devil. Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah. I just lost my place there. By the way, thank you for coming in. Both of you. I lost my spot for a second. Apology for the dinner. Let's just get into it. I was going to say something. I was like, you know what? But I got a Switch.
Yay!
There you have it, you fucking bellyachers. I finally got one.
You have done well, Matty.
By the way, just because of that, you're not getting smashed. I'm not getting smashed for another 2 weeks. I actually, here's the thing. I actually want to enjoy my Switch before I toss it out the window out of frustration.
Hey, you're still
because here's the thing about me and Smash. I'm good as single player. I'm gonna get my ass kicked online. There's no. I am not an FGC member. I am a video game player, and I do not do well in the online. I get my ass whipped. Okay.
Don't worry.
It's funny. When I was on my way to go see the Dragon Ball Z Super movie, Broly.
By the way, Easy and I would like to. Easy Rider and myself would like to tell you go fuck yourself. Just right off the bat. Don't take it the wrong way. None of us can go see the fucking movie. All right, so go fuck yourself. Anyone that gets to see it.
But as I was on my way, there was a guy on our bus that was playing Switch. So
it is a very portable thing. I will say this: I always thought it'd be a little bigger. That thing is tiny.
But it looks so good.
Yes, it does.
I did all the setup and all the things. I literally here's my day after. Here's my night after the show. I'm gonna pop in Mattis's CM Drew's wrestling reviews. He wanted me to watch it. Did not have the time to even watch it or try to listen to it. So I'm gonna be like, thing gonna be on the computer, big screen over here, Switch. Got the controller grip here. I'm gonna be on my bed and play Super Mario fucking Odyssey. I'm gonna throw Cappy around and make people my bitch.
Yes.
That's what Mario does.
All the time. Always.
Or you can stream a game for 9 hours like Final Fantasy IX.
Dude, believe me, the original idea was I buy a Switch, I start streaming off that Switch using the thing, but I found out my computer doesn't like to do video games anymore. It chugs. It chugs. It's like the CPU goes over and it decides that I want to chug for some dumb reason. But you know, it is what it is. I still got a 1 hour solo show out of the deal. It's not a big deal.
That's true.
Shall we talk about the wrestling, gentlemen? I think most people are here for that.
I think so. I think people are here.
I think people are here. I think people would appreciate
R.
that.
Kelly, but
let's talk the wrestling.
Let's talk the wrestling. Well, it's funny. Pete Dunne is here, and I congratulate him on the retention of his UK Championship. But spoilers for Takeover UK Blackpool. There we go. I was a little close to the microphone. Anyway, let's talk about wrestling, shall we?
Yes.
We began with our review of a pay-per-view. For those eagle-eared, is there eagle-eared? Anyway, for those good of hearing, we kind of fucked up, T-Dub and I, last week. We meant to talk about we want to preview Takeover UK. We kind of fucked up, so we do apologize. Kind of a weird week, especially last week when all Elite Wrestling fucking happened. Fuck. We'll talk about that in the third segment. Do not worry. Especially with Matis, who's been waiting an extra week to talk about that. So we will definitely... And Shin's going to be here. You get to put in your 2 cents as well. Hopefully Pete Dunne will get to do that as well.
I'll do my best.
And we have all the stuff. We got your emails and comments, your winners, losers, all of that stuff. I put this cute card away so I can do this. Ladies and gentlemen, the final few moments of Dunne v. Coffee for the WWE United Kingdom Championship. It's your clip of the week, numero uno. Take a listen.
This has got to be it! Cover! It's not! It's not! And now Dunne! Trying to hold Coffee into submission! There's nowhere for Coffee to go in the hands! The fingers being bent back! Joe Coffee taps out! Pete Dunne retains his WWE United Kingdom title! Your winner! And still WWE United Kingdom Champion, the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne!
Yeah, I still can't find Pete Dunne, an 8-bit version of Pete Dunne's theme song. Could you believe that?
Well, you best hurry up before I come over there and
well, you know what,
make
Pete?
you find
You go make someone do it, because I have no skill in making 8-bit music.
Well, you better learn the bloody skill so you can make the bloody music so that when I'm on, you can play the proper music.
Well, can you read a sheet music, Matty?
Yeah, I did so for a cup of coffee in the 4th grade.
You'd best get some hypnotherapy going so you can remember those repressed memories right quick.
See, here's the thing. Even if I could, I'd be like, I'd be crap.
You never played Mario
Paint? I played piano and I played with Mario Paint. I did one thing when I was able to play with it, and it wasn't as good. Believe me. I don't have the copy of the game anymore. You don't want to know. Is what I'm trying to say. But and by the way, for those wondering, there's a whole controversy about naming the artist, or giving credit to the artist. The one guy that I use for the Mario Paint theme song, it's Night One on YouTube. I do a lot of the 8-bit themes, including this one. So many versions pop up that it's hard to actually give credit to the actual artist. But there is one called 8-Bit Universe on YouTube. There are a few songs here and there. Some of the songs like Queen, like it did One Vision the other week, which by the way got flagged. Monetized, I should say, on YouTube. 8-Bit Universe, that's the guy you go to. There's a few versions of WB theme songs that he's done in the past. Just to clear that up, I do not claim responsibility to those things. How could I? How could I? I don't make money off of this. If I did, I'd send a few dollars, a few ducats down to the artist responsible.
The response: all of this music, images, and videos are used under free use and are not used in monetization.
Basically, it's London calling. London, they were in London, well, Blackpool, but whatever. Anyway, that out of the way, let's talk about the actual wrestling, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
WWE NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. Starts the heck, even to say it once, try to say it 5 times, people. It happened Saturday afternoon, in case you were wondering. So you had a little bit of the graps in the afternoon and a nice little lunch. And some wrestling and okay, Google, I didn't ask you to do anything.
Yes, you did.
Because it just piped up about full text and everything else.
AJ Styles.
How did it do? How did it? Never mind, Matty. Move on. Okay. They were at the Empress Ballroom in Blackpool, England. I'm not even going to try to say the middle part there, but they were there. The site of the UK Championship Tournament, the very first one, by the way, in case you were wondering. They did not post attendance figures, so I can't tell you how many people showed up. Here's what happened.
But that thing looked packed.
Oh yeah, it was sold the fuck out. There's no disputing that there. Matches included the NXT UK shows, including Ligero taking and going over Saxon Huxley. Hey, El Ligero in WWE, everybody, awesome. They had a tag match with Marcel Barthel and Fabian Eichner taking on Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. Barthel and Eichner, they went over. And Jenny took on Isla Dawn, who I love. I love that entrance. Good gimmick. Jenny defeated her in the third match. That was the undercard before the main card, so to speak. You're going to say something there, Mattis.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, Ligero's been there since the second UK tournament, so...
Yeah. He was there at the beginning of the NXT thing, yeah. Well, the UK thing. Confusion! It's such a terrible thing. On the card itself, what you saw live in the afternoon, evening, whatever, you had Zach Gipson and James Drake taking on Moustache Mountain. That's Trent Seven and Tyler Bate to crown the very first ever NXT UK Tag Team Champions. It went 23-45. Gipson and Drake won, and Zach Gipson is number 1. He just has to share that number 1 with James Drake in the tag team division. But match of the night?
I can't say. I haven't seen it yet.
Mattis, am I wrong in thinking this is match of the night?
Yeah, there was a bit too... We'll get to the main event match. There were a bit too many mistakes, but yeah, for me, this was definitely match of the night. Hot opening, for sure.
Yeah. Great hot opener. Also, Moustache Mountain kind of paying tribute to the British Bulldogs. I kind of dug that. Great match. Bate took on some accidental color. He looked badass in the process.
Was it Bate or was it blanking on the name now?
Trent Seven.
Trent Seven.
Yeah.
Because I could have sworn it looked like Trent Seven was like busted at the top of his head.
I could have been. I think it might have been Trent Seven, but. Also, yeah, Mike Shell. So Coffee had a cup of himself in the big time. Easy. Mike, you're not careful. You got to get it. And the second match, it was supposed to be Travis Banks taking on Jordan Devlin, but there was a pre-match angle because Devlin is a dick. But the management there, they went, where do you think you're going, buddy? You're still wrestling. And, you know, it's funny. We opened that thing called the Performance Center down in the UK gimmick, and we had a guy that says, Oi, can I warm up for you? You got a spot for me, fella? And they said, sure. And holy shit, Finn Balor roof flies off. So, yeah, Finn Balor over Jordan Devlin in 11:45.
Really loved this match. It had the great story of the student versus the teacher.
Yeah.
The student trying to surpass the teacher, but the teacher's still that damn good.
Yep. Kind of hard to take on your teacher if the teacher is Finn fucking Balor and is still in his fucking prime.
And it was this really amazing thing to where it was like Devlin was doing good, and it's probably the best match I've seen him since I first was introduced to him.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
What was it? 2017 was the first UK tournament.
Yep.
But I also liked that they sort of told that it was almost as if Finn Balor was slightly toying with him, and so you could really see the skill gap level play in that.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. Next up, Dave Mastiff went over Eddie Dennis. It was a no DQ match, 10:50.
This was the biggest surprise of the night for how good it was.
Yeah. I was not expecting much, but these guys, I think if nothing else, these guys made stars of themselves out of this matchup, I would say.
A lot of great spots, just two heavy hosses going at each other with no DQ.
Pretty much.
That cannonball spot through the table. Wonderful.
Yeah. Ow. That's all I'm going to say. Just fucking ow.
And another good thing, though, that they did is, after Eddie lost, he was able to walk out under his own power, sort of show.
And, of course, standing a standing ovation out of the crowd, which tells you both men over. One went over, the other got over. That is the best result. Next up, UK Women's Championship. Toni Storm defeated Rhea Ripley. What? She needed this win so bad.
Oh yeah, she definitely needed to win bad.
With all the shit that's been going on in the last couple of weeks, that must have felt pretty fucking sweet for her.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, I thought this was the weakest match of the night, and that's by no means to sit there and say that it was bad.
No. This is one of those cases like the crowd was forgiving enough, and both were good. There's, I don't think there's. That's the sweet spot of the NXT. Even the weak matches, it's nitpicking at this point, really.
Well, I thought he could have used 5 more minutes, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and I think that's the case of you look at the main event, and you said that's where the money went. That's where the time went. We will explain in a few seconds there.
Yes, but no, it was a really good match again, and I said it on my review of it on CMG's episode 100, which you can find by going to the Absolution Network on YouTube.
There's your plug.
There's the plug. But no, I made mention to the fact that if this was any other card, this might be one of the best matches of the night.
Yeah, easily. If this was a regular NXT UK episode, this would have easily been match of the night right there. Hello?
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, I thought you were going to say something.
Nope.
It sounded like you were going to say something there. So you said that they could have used an extra 5 minutes. I wonder where it went. Could it have went to the main event of Pete Dunne defending the UK Championship against Joe Coffey by submission in 34-15?
Well, we can at least agree that the 5 minutes went to both Coffey and Dunne stumbling off the top rope twice.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ, my God, guys. What were you... Here's the thing. I kind of have to agree with Solomon. You guys had a good match. It just went a little tad too long.
It's not my bloody fault. I put on the best match I knew how to do. Not my bloody fault. He's a bloody amateur.
Just a tad too long. Just a tad.
I don't know if it was too long as much as it was that spot to where they went to the...
That could have been it, but it's like, oh.
But what I'm saying is, like, they did that spot, Coffee fell off.
Yeah.
Then they sort of messed around, and then they tried it again and fell off again. And then...
Spot's dead, boys. Just do it once. If it don't work, spot's dead. Move on.
And so that's where I think the match got boggled down.
Yeah.
That being said,
the finger spot, really, the finger submission. Instead of the bitter end, he kicks out. It's like, yeah, my fingers. Tap, 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 tap. Okay. Jarring.
Oh, no, I love the ending. I love the fact that, like, he hits him with, like, what was it, 2 or 3 bitter ends at that point? And it's like, this motherfucker's still alive. Not for long. Reverse triangle hold. Pull the fingers apart. Bend them each way.
Quiet down the set, please. Quiet.
This was also Coffey's best match I've seen since he's been in NXT UK.
I mean, in his NXT run, I think I could agree. I could agree with that, actually.
So
he's had good matches. I think this one. I think they're just trying to go. Hey, it's the first takeover. Let's just do a war over the thing, and it definitely came across as a war. I don't know if the intended effect was achieved because of that unfortunate botch. That killed a lot of the momentum, and I think that's where I'm like, that's where the 5 minutes went. Because,
I was actually sort of surprised though that Pete Dunne won, and not that I don't like Pete Dunne.
Bloody what say?
Careful, dude. You know he can hear you.
I know you can hear me, but don't kill me yet. My reasoning is that, again, going off how good Mustache Mountain and Pete Dunne have been going, I saw that maybe this might be the time they start calling them up to the main roster. Because, you put them on the main roster, that's an immediate, regardless of where they go.
Well, I suppose that would be a good idea. I mean, I haven't killed a roster in pretty much a fortnight.
Hey, last time you showed up on the main roster gimmick, you killed Enzo Amore.
And that is a bad thing, how?
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I didn't say that was a bad thing. I'm just saying that's a good thing.
Yes.
There you go.
All right, so who do you bloody well want me to kill?
I mean, you did call Brock Lesnar a tosser.
He is a tosser. Talking about how he's the beast looks like a bitch to me.
There it is.
If Balor gets done beating him for the WWE Universal title, please come on the main roster and finish him off.
By all means. By all means. By the way, I'm glad I'm not the only one hoping for against help on that. By the way, but we will get that in the third. What do you think? What do you think of a rating on this one? I'm thinking a 4 out of 5 on this one.
I gave it a 4. I'll give it the same rating I gave on my show, which I think was I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Aha.
I'll give it a 10 out of 5.
By the way, Matty, aren't we forgetting something?
What? Oh yeah! Da, 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 da,
Black horse.
Yeah. So we gave the rating as if you guys follow the joke here. You have the rating because the credits, and after the credits, Walter, who entered with a massive fucking pop.
I don't know why they bloody like this guy. Look, his head looks like a bloody mailbox. I didn't know whether I should fight him or send me letters to me gran.
All I'm gonna say is I hope your chest is Walter chop proof because I think you're gonna get a couple of them.
I've seen his chops. Me nephew, who's about 5 years old, can do more stiffer chops than him.
Oh Jesus! Literally 2 months. 2 months later, here we're gonna show up. Okay, so the chops are a little harder.
No, 2 months later, I show up and I have a night, and I was like, "Tell Walter, thanks for the massage. It got a kink out of me chest." I'd like another one, please. Maybe he could put me in a submission hold. I got a crack in me legs. I'll try a sleeper hold. I've been meaning to catch him getting some shot eye, and maybe his boring attempts at offense will put me to bloody sleep like a good, nice, warm pink glass of milk.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have Randy Savage, DWS Scott Steiner, Shintigercurl has Pete Dunne. That just, yeah, that's.
I have to add something.
We have found your one wrestling impression right there. Oh man!
But it was really good to see him come out.
It was very nice. It was.
Crowd. I mean, and the thing is, like, I know Walter's been signed. I know he's going to come out. You kept waiting for them to show him in the crowd.
It's funny because I kept reading of he doesn't want to go to WWE because he doesn't want to move. It's as if Triple H said, "Okay, you don't want to go. You want to stay in the UK? Okay, I'll bring the WWE Performance Center to you."
Well, it really goes into the idea of what NXT UK is, which is, even though it has UK in the name, it's not just going to be UK. It's also going to be their spot for the rest of Europe. It's
literally I could take it again. It's not NXT. It's yes, the developmental system in quote. But I get the feeling this is gonna wind up like what Triple H wants it to wind up as, a territory.
Oh yeah, well that's exactly what he is. And if he's successful, he's going to be able to put one in Japan, Mexico.
By the way, okay, Mexico I could believe. Japan, good luck with that. Oh. Good luck with that. New Japan is good. New Japan's gonna make it stiff. I'll tell you that much.
As soon as he enters Tokyo International Airport to try this shit, he will be met by Suzuki-gun. Hello there, Triple H. I heard you want to be in Japan. Allow me to welcome you. And by welcome, no survivors.
Oh God!
You can't count on the cops because they're just like, we would help you, but he called no survivors, so no survivors.
Davey Boy Smith Jr. going, sorry, bud. He said no survivors. We gotta kill that. Of course, Triple H will be with Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era, and I was like, oh God, I gotta kill Adam Cole again.
And Triple H will be looking over at Taka like, Taka, come on. Remember? Me and you, buds?
Zack Sabre time!
Oh God, no!
Oh, and Adam Cole will take a look at us. Oh God. Not again. Bye-bye!
I already died once. I don't want to die again.
For those wondering, Being the Elite. That's just watch Being the Elite. You can binge watch the shit, believe me. Anyway, shall we get to the business of reading some emails and some comments, gentlemen?
We should.
I think we should. I think it would be a good idea. It's time for your emails and comments of the week. You can send them by the Wrestle-Cast at gmail.com. We got 2 of them this time. Yay! By the way, quick plug. I'll be doing another one of them solo streams I've been doing on. I started doing on Monday, doing another one of those, and my initial thoughts, hopefully, on the Nintendo Switch and the video game of Super Mario Odyssey. I hope to play at least a good few hours tonight and tomorrow, and come back with my first impressions. I'm gonna play the shit out of that game in the next couple of weeks. I guarantee. We begin, however, ladies and gentlemen, with well, T-Dub is not here to scream it, but I will say French Otaku, who says, hello, Wrestle-Cast. Hi. Yes, I'm back from hiatus since I was absent last week. His reason, and we got Shintigercurl. You're gonna be familiar with the words coming out of this here. The reason I participated in a Soul Calibur 6 tournament lasted until the semifinals, ranked 4th. But it was a lot of fun after all. We support the local fighting game community, the FGC.
Good shit,
and like independent wrestling, you support that. There you go. Words that'll warm the cockles of Shintigercurl's heart.
Yes, it does. Always support your local FGC.
Of course. Lasted until fourth, by the way, fourth ranked. By the way,
it's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
No, a lot of people in their first tournament don't even make it past pools, but semis is not bad.
But then again, I don't want to rant about the best. But I don't rant to be the best Soul Calibur 6 player that year and make a profit out of it. Whoever found the reference, we can be friends. Sorry about it. I don't get it. Oh, can't be friends anymore. Lonely. I missed it. No, never mind. Anyway.
All right there, Akon.
I was going with the original, but never mind. Now, before... Reverend Klotz for you, Otaku, he says, I still need to pick up Soul Calibur 5. Oh, actually, no, I read that wrong. Soul Calibur 6. He actually did it in the Roman numeral. Now, before we go on this week, wrestling, I'd like to give you my thoughts on All Elite Wrestling. I am very excited. Who isn't? It would be a huge challenge for the Elite to make a solid wrestling promotion who could stand against the likes of Ring of Honor, top any company out there, and maybe Impact Wrestling. And despite Vince offering a huge contract to get the top talents out of there, it wasn't enough, especially with creative freedom not included. Though with the Young Bucks, I mean, from what you read about what they had a sweet fucking deal.
Well, I read differently. I read that they did have creative.
There was creative freedom. They had being the Elite was going to be a weekly network thing now. It was going to be a weekly network gimmick.
Or basically that they were going to be given people to help them like put it on the network and like with improved cameras and stuff like that. With
some improved camera work, get some editing, less editing, of course. You know, creative with the image, and a 6-month buyout. If you weren't happy in 6 months, you got out of here. No fuss, no muss. Mm-hmm. But the Young Bucks, obviously, they said thanks, but no thanks. So that could tell you how hard Vince was working on the Bucks alone. And Cody, I'm pretty sure that the conversation went. Triple H offers him up, and he, of course, Cody nods, says, "Okay, thank you very much for the offer, but fuck the
revival." But I think it also shows you the amount of respect that WWE was showing them, that they were willing to give them that
respect. I could say respect. I'd say a little bit of fear, or at the very least, concern.
Yes,
because. Like I said, you're going back to that stream last week, the live stream, the rally. You see pictures of Shad Khan, like the guy that owns the Jaguars and has like all of the money for All Elite Wrestling. He's smiling ear to ear, like he's happy in his head place. That's a guy that says, "You want the money? Hey, here's a shitload of pyro. Boom. You want to? Boom. Chris Jericho. Boom." Big TV deal. We're working on it, but it'll be a boom soon.
But then again, and it goes to all sorts of questions. I'm sure we'll talk about in the third
segment. This is one of those. It's going to be a lot of questions still need to be answered as well.
Yeah.
Would be a huge challenge for the Elite. Let's see. And despite Vinny offering huge contracts to top talents out there, it wasn't enough, especially with creative freedom not included. Now, should they compete with the WWE? No. At least not until for a couple of years and make a mark in the business. And then give a great alternative. Just give a great alternative against WWE. Right now, the E got their shit together, but that's not much. You'll see why. Raw. So Strowman isn't 100% for the Rumble, so they pretty much scrap in favor of Finn Balor, who wins a fatal 4-way in the main event. Which is good, but the way Strowman got screwed out of the title was dumb by ruining the limo of Mr. McMahon. Good idea, smashing the windows of the lead pipe against his hands. Hello, Goldberg. Bad idea.
I'm
Being scared of Vince, of all people. Yes, he's the boss, but did Strowman give a fuck about who you are? Also, lifting a limo. Not as impressive as lifting the truck or ambulance. Back in the corner, commentary team. In other news, Otis got his worst debut of the main roster by showing up with the announcement of the Raw Women's Tag belts, who look fancy as hell. The Bobby Lashley is our new Intercontinental Champion. Good for him. And we had a moment of Alexa. We had a moment with Alexa Bliss being quote-unquote topless for the sake of ratings. Ugh. Still using sex appeal to boost ratings, facepalm. Can we please have a decent women development in WB main roster? Oh, wait. SmackDown Live? Well, if Alexa's topless moment wasn't enough, we got Mandy Rose trying to seduce Jimmy Uso to piss off Naomi. Never mind the fact that Mandy is in a relationship on her Instagram. Gosh, I know it's kayfabe, but with WB cramming their social media, we took it seriously. Why not make it a public Instagram for the character only? I mean, Undertaker's now on Twitter, for God's sakes. Wait, where was I? Oh yeah, SmackDown Live. That's all written, by the way. That's all part of the email. SmackDown Live. AJ Styles fought Daniel Bryan backstage near a stand. Also, bad timing of the people at their second of silence. The main event was Shane's fucking birthday. Ugh. And Rey versus Almas, now renamed Andrade for some odd reason. Damn you, Vince. Got themselves an awesome match. Seriously, the match should have been the main event. That Lucha Destroyer, though. How about that Canadian Destroyer, huh?
That's the second week in a row it's been on there.
Flip pile driver, and I will repeat, flip pile driver, because that's what it is. That's a flip pile driver in WWE.
Yes, it is.
Nice and safe though. Nice and safe though. Good work. Good job on both. So I can't imagine Becky. Also, I can't imagine Becky after drinking that protein shake. All it misses is unicorn splooge. Too far. Winners, all Elite Wrestling, shut up and take my virtual money. Bobby Lashley winning the Intercontinental Championship. Yes, I'm sad that Ambrose dropped it too soon, but if it leads to returning Owens chasing him for the belt, I'm okay with that once he comes back. Am I surprised Nikki Cross and Big Damo are now engaged? Hey, good for them. Yeah,
no, they tied the knot. They got married.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. You're a little late there, French Otaku. But if also, I don't know if she's still salty about him splashing her back at TakeOver against the Authors of Pain. Remember when Sanity won the NXT tag belts? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Ronda Rousey for being the voice of Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat 11. I know. Yes, I saw the reveal event. Yes, I'm glad to see Simon Miller in the London event night called Johnny Sins by Twitch viewers. That's good. Hey, you know what? Miller, check that name. That's a good gimmick name right there.
Well, actually, if they're calling him Johnny Sins, that means they're calling him a porn star, because there is a male porn star by the name of Johnny Sins.
Oh, shit.
Who's actually looks a lot like Simon Miller, except
more chiseled. No.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. That's going to be something to watch.
Thank you for that, Mattis. Now I have an image of Simon Miller in a porn. Hello there, I'm Simon Miller, and I'm here to come inside of you. Now let's up those downs.
That was the best orgasm you ever had. Why? Here's why.
And unfortunately, you wouldn't let me do anal, so unfortunately, let's get it down.
Oh, the things I have opened up.
Oh.
Just for that, because my heart was so set on banging in the bum, my heart's broken. So you had to not only get it down, you get the brown down.
Simon Miller of What Culture Wrestling. I am sorry. We have opened a portal to something we did not intend to open on.
See, this is why you have me on, Matty, for my porn knowledge.
And this is why you have me on, to exploit his porn knowledge.
You know what? I will say this right now. If you're blocked by Simon Miller on Twitter, you know why.
I don't care.
And, by the way, he's hyped for the game. And to be honest, Rozzy did a good job voicing Lieutenant Blade. Let's guess those times at the Performance Center did good on her acting skill. Also, Zelina, Xavier, and Kofi dressed as Jade, Shao Kahn, and Shang Tsung marking out. Did you see Zelina Vega as Jade, by the way?
Aleister Black is a very, very lucky man.
Aleister Black. No, you got a geek girl.
And Steve from Yo Video Games is hella jealous.
Yep.
You have a geek. If you're a nerd yourself, bud, hold on to that treasure. She's unique in this world.
To quote Mulan, you don't get a woman like that every dynasty.
Thank you, ancient Chinese Pat Morita, who's also Japanese.
God. Okay, we're moving on before we do something else. Good Lord. Hi, Pugsley. Showed up in our Simon Miller gag. Oh, God. Oh, no.
Why do I have a feeling that Simon Miller gag is going to show up on Rifttown?
If it does, it's your fault.
Yes, it is. I take
losers for Front Otaku. Losers for Front Otaku. Just what WWE did to Alexa Bliss and Mandy Rose. Yes, they're both very attractive, but no, I'm not interested in cheap, sexy phase. Can we focus on character development? Am I surprised Marie Kanellis and Mike Bennett misused on 205 Live since they then appeared since December of 2018? Yes, she didn't ask for a release. She did not ask for a release, but that might be the case. Also, that's also the case for Ziggler and maybe the Revival. The situation would fit considering Lucha Underground, especially surrounding Evilise on social media. Although I'm still pumped for 5th season, I'm scared of that it might not be the case with the way they treat their talents. That's it for the night. Royal Rumble in 2 weeks, and hope it'll be great. I really hope.
Well, it's going to look epic.
I mean, the cards, Lesnar versus Balor, finally, that... it's starting to look good on paper. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I'm just talking about the fact that it's in Chase Field, so it's going to be an open stadium.
And lo, God will reveal his true thoughts on WWE when it rains like hell.
Not in Arizona.
You say that. You say that. You watch.
Though I do believe Chase Field actually has a retractable roof. So.
They do. So they get protected against that. So they'll probably say, you know what, let's just close the roof just in case.
Well, it's going to depend on what the weather is. That's all.
I think Vince just wants, I don't want if it's a variable, I want it wrapped up. Close the goddamn roof. Fuck you. If I'm Vince, I'm having that roof closed. I don't give a shit. Anyway, on to Ohio, Reverend, it's your email. Yeah. Let me turn on the thing. There we go. Reverend, throwing doors open and immediately sitting down. My 1 week off. And Murphy's Law bitch slaps me in the face. Power outages, no internet for almost a week. And I have a torn rotator cuff. Let's just talk about some wrestling.
That's what happens when you make Buddy Murphy mad.
I believe Murphy's Law is not Buddy Murphy. It's a different kind of Murphy's Law that he's referring to. By the way, torn rotator cuff. Ah! As someone who's had dislocated shoulders before, fuck, that's gotta suck. I feel your pain, dude. That's all I'm gonna say there.
That sucks dick.
It does. Pain. Pain. Well, Rev, I will take it slow for you. WWE news: Finn getting that push. The man being the man, and another wrestler loses almost most of his name. Almas and Mysterio giving us a good match. Claps for them. Impact news: I just found that new channel, so I'll be able to watch Impact again. Good. Yay. Awesome. Saw the recap from last week, and I'm looking forward to seeing the aftermath after what went down with Killer Cross and Johnny Nitro, Morrison, Mundo, Impact, Hennigan.
Oh, me too.
I just want to see Scarlett Bordeaux.
Scarlett Bordeaux and Scott Steiner again. Scarlett Bordeaux because she is a beautiful woman. And Scott Steiner because the world needs more Steiner promos.
No, just Scarlett Bordeaux doing more strip teases.
Meh.
Steiner promos. Steiner promos, my friend.
I don't really find Scarlett Bordeaux all that attractive.
I find her a whole lot more attractive than Alexa Bliss.
I don't find Alexa Bliss all that attractive either.
You know what, folks? Beauty is subjective.
Yes. Give me Nikki Cross.
Oh, no, Pugsley just said I could have met Scarlett. No! What happened? Side note, finally saw Scarlett Bordeaux's wrestling at a Lucha event. So also looking forward to her Impact in the Ring debut. Oh, she could have, but no one would have taken her to Toa to meet her. Oh, that sucks. Reverend, not the way I planned to comment this week, but the whole week has been pissing me off. Sorry about that. I'll just see you guys in the chat. Pours a shot of Captain Morgan 100 proof, then immediately starts chugging the bottle. Vampiro, who was just chilling on the couch, torn rotator cuff, huh? Opens another bottle of Cap. I've been there, brother. Good thing you got it checked early. Takes a swig. Chug, 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 chug. And I have to miss her, and the match she's in has Joey Ryan as a guest ref. Oh man. Oh. That sucks. It really does. I am sorry. I did not mean to put salt in the wound on that one. I really did not. I'm sorry. Well, you have us. Hopefully that's something.
Yes, us talking about porn. I'm sure.
And wrestling. Wrestling. Okay? Anyway, those were your emails and comments of the week. Yes, I'm moving. There's no segue. I'm just ending this right there, nipping it right in the bud. You can send them at the Wrestle-Cast@gmail.com.
That's what Johnny Sins does, too.
God damn it.
Oh, and there we go. Mattis once again making another sexy joke. But I like it. I'm a weird person. Up.
We'll be right back.
And now a word from our sponsors. Sting is the new drink. It's all over the streets, man. Look for the yellow jacket all over the green can. It'll pump adrenaline like a giant machine, man. Drink anything else? That's just obscene, man. Need a pickup in your daily routine, man? It'll blast like a fire with gasoline, man. Make sure the simple citrus is up in your hand. 10 times the energy of any heavy metal band. Y'all don't know by now? I'm gonna smack your crew. This is YJ Stinger straight from Stacker 2. This YJ Stinger is the energy king. Go on, catch the buzz, feel the sting. Is that good? All right, cool. Bet.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
I want to know one thing.
How it feels to chew 5 gum.
Well, the Rock doesn't matter how it makes you feel.
New 5 gum. Stimulate your senses.
This is WMOB Mobile. 12 on your channel dial and 12 in the TV ratings.
Where I come from, you're given an opportunity and you fight to earn respect. Today, in front of the entire world, Vince McMahon said he didn't believe in you. And you said these people believe in you. For what it's worth, you got one more person that believes in you. You give him hell at the Royal Rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, your challenger for the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble, Finn Balor!
I'd have made that break a little tad short, but whatever. We're back on the Wrestle-Cast, branded by RVT Entertainment on thebrokeninfinite.com, Podomatic.com, iTunes, podcasting places, 16-bit teams. Not one. Finn Balor, SNES. Because fuck yes, SNES. Matty Shintigercurl, Matis LeonHart joining in on the festivities. T-Dub his resting because he has work early in the morning on a Saturday. Poor bastard.
Sucks.
And, you know, especially on a Saturday. I mean, of course, he has to work, I'm sure, but still, 8 a.m. Never fun. Never. Anyway. So, yeah, you heard the clip of the week. John Cena giving the rub to Finn Balor. Yeah, so that happened. 1 week, Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar is still a question mark. And then, apparently, Vince said, well, I want Brock to win, but I don't want Braun to lose. Fuck it, he's out. In the worst way possible, because they have to put over Baron Corbin as a sniveling little shit again. There's a reason why Easy and I have removed him from our boys' stable. Baron is just go away now. But nonetheless,
I will say this on that segment though, yeah, and that's this, and I think French, yeah, I believe it was French Otaku noticed it as well. I'm very glad that Braun Strowman didn't Bill Goldberg himself.
Yeah, that would have been
yes, true.
Yeah, the elbow chips and now like a busted arteries. Yeah, that's never good.
Yeah, when I saw him pick up the lead pipe, I'm like, oh, thank God.
Braun Smash, also Braun Smart. But yeah, so he busted the limo. Turns out it was Vince's limo. Vince pretty much there's $100,000. Braun, instead of just shutting up and going, Braun, he just go, what thing's even worth $100,000? Oh yeah, you're out of the Universal title match, fucker. Oh, he didn't say it that way, but he may as well have said it like that. So let's set up a thing with a Fatal 4 with Vince not believing in Finn Balor because Vince McMahon likes big sweaty man. Actually, basically,
and WWE likes to play off fans' interpretations of what they think.
Anyway.
Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men. Vince McMahon likes big.
No, he doesn't like big sweaty men. He likes the beef.
There's a lot of beef in there, pal.
There's only one beef I like, and it's Gary Stryer.
By the way, I'm amazed. People like I was like, was that your joke? It's like, no, OSW review. They brought it up, or World Bodybuilding Federation. Gary Stridham. That's V1, OOC, and Jay Hunter right there, folks.
Yep.
So yeah, they set up Fatal 4-Way, and we are going to ignore Heavy Machinery because no.
Well, wait. You have to go back. First, you had Jinder Mahal.
Because Big Sweaty Man wants to beat up Finn Balor, and Vince says, okay, go get him, fucker.
Get him, I don't really care. Get this Finn, a cool guy, whoever he is.
Which helped make Finn Balor make him look even more of an underdog and more of an upward battle.
Which, in fairness, smart move. It sucks. Well, you know what, Evil Reverend, at the very least, there is the on-demand and the MP3.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, so if Jinder Mahal gets a wild hair up his ass, gets his ass kicked by Finn Balor. Finn Balor's back in the Fatal 4-Way. And the Fatal 4-Way happened as you may have surmised from the clip. Finn Balor won that Fatal 4-Way. And John Cena gave him the pretty much the largest endorsement a man can have.
Not only getting pinned by him.
Yeah. Doing the honors, and not only doing the honors, but actually verbally saying, go get him. You got my blessing. Go kick his ass.
Go save that belt.
Yeah. Go resurrect that championship, dagnabbit. Yep. Now, I think this is probably one of the rare cases where Matis and I and most of the IWC are going, please put belt back on Finn. Please. Please. Fuck the Bork laser. But we have that lingering thought in our mind going, Vince just wants to feed Finn to Brock so he could go to Mania because Vince is a smart businessman. Fuck him. Fuck Finn. Fuck you, Vinny. Finn Balor for the win. Finn should win. Put belt on Finn. Am I wrong here? Am I wrong?
It's gonna ultimately depend on, I guess, Brock's UFC career, as it always does, unfortunately. I mean, it would be smart to put it on Finn, and I think the better match would be Finn and Seth Rollins, because he's being put in there to win. That being said, again, if you're building the whole story of Seth Rollins fighting for Roman Reigns and fighting for his friend's honor, it makes more sense story-wise for it to be Brock that he defeats. And that's the unfortunate problem, is I can see storyline-wise why they would keep it on Brock. It's not
At the same time, we all know that the intended main event is Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte or Becky or both in a triple threat.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we trying to manufacture something that we know isn't going to be the main event? You know what I mean? Like, here's how I see it. Here's how I see it. And I think you and I had the same idea. Finn wins, Seth wins Rumble, and we already have the story from SummerSlam a couple years ago.
Yeah,
we finally get that rematch.
You're absolutely right, but also remember that Mania is the event where it's an event of main events.
True, but at the same time, the event of main events says forgotten that it's supposed to be an event of main events. The way I see it, look, don't get me wrong. You're not wrong about Brock Lesnar. They're probably going to keep the belt dead on Brock Lesnar for until Mania because they're fucking idiots, and they are. All right.
If they do that,
you understand the story.
If they do that, then I am not doing a watch party this year for WrestleMania because I cannot tolerate yet another Mania with Brock Lesnar as Universal Champion. No, I can't. Especially if it's at the cost of Finn Balor.
Well, was it at the cost of Daniel Bryan when he lost to him at Survivor Series?
At the very least, he put up a good fight. He probably gave Brock Lesnar his best match that last year.
And then turned around and used that to fuel his heel character, which, let's be honest, Shin, we've been loving.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
It didn't fuel his heel character. It was just something that happened.
Here's the thing about the Daniel Bryan. They turned a very negative thing into a positive. With Finn, I just see it as he's just being fed. He's jobber to Brock Lesnar, and I don't see how that's a good thing for Balor. I don't see it.
But where does he go? They're going to job him.
Where does he know? Where does he go from losing to Brock? With Daniel Bryan, he still had the WWE Championship. Where does Finn go from there?
Here's the thing: if they job him out, they're just probably going to stick him in some nothing feud with someone who really, for no real reason, against someone who he shouldn't be wrestling in the first place.
So let's be honest here. If Finn wins, at least they're giving him something. And if at the very least, even if it's just a rematch against Brock at Mania, which is like, sorry, Matt, sorry, Shin, that could be the thing. At the very least, they're doing something with Finn.
But
and I would rather him win and have him doing something with him, and then nothing at all, and then he loses, and he's back to the mid-card, hell you go.
Well, I actually have a storyline they could do.
And they're not going to do it because your storylines tend to linger on fantasy more than reality.
Well, hear me out.
Your storylines tend to be smarter than the people booking actually are.
There's that as well.
Oh, but hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm working at the level where we could sell it to Vince at this point, because at this point they're not writing for us, they're writing for Vince, and we all know it.
Again, hear me out. So, WrestleMania is also the event where you'll see cross-promotional matches. You have Finn losing to Brock Lesnar. You have AJ Styles losing to Daniel Bryan.
They've already had that match.
And did you not love that match?
Yeah, but they've already had it. It's not a first time ever.
It doesn't need to be a first time ever.
It's still, to me, it still reeks of, hey, here's two guys not doing anything. I know, let's put them together. That still reeks of desperation to me.
Not if you...
No, you can build it, but to me...
Real leader of the club.
No, dude, to me, yeah, here's the thing. Oh, it's a great match, It's still a desperation move.
Yep.
You could sell it as whatever you want. It's still two guys who could have been champion or in one case just got off of being a champion and just wanted some time off, and they decided, hey, let's give them less to do, taking on a guy who could have been Universal Champion, could have been given something to do to sink his teeth on, and then at the end of the day, oh fuck, we forgot he had something to do. We had nothing. You want AJ Styles again? That to me, goes.
They put a valid storyline behind it.
Fuck the valid storyline. It won't matter. It's like It's like trying to hide. It's trying to hide It's trying to dress a quarter pounder into an arch deluxe.
Indeed.
That's
works at McDonald's,
and it could work and it could sell. But for me, I just see that arch deluxe as just a quarter pounder, with just separated.
And you know what I mean? And more even so, if the match is good between AJ and Finn, and it will be good,
it should.
That people will be just like, okay, we have this match. How come we couldn't have it in the main event? How come he couldn't be wrestling or defending with the Universal title?
And that's why
it will be a missed opportunity.
And that's why I refuse to believe the whole McMahons are here to make it. That'll be the big change. I refuse to believe it's a big change, because at this point, you're just putting two guys together. Oh, what? Well, why weren't they in the main event? Why weren't they fighting for this championship? Why could you have booked it that way? You know, Like, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad idea. But to me, if they do that, number one, they're listening to you too much, and that's a joke. But at the same time, to me...
Would listening to me improve their ratings? Be honest.
Dude, we both know the ratings are going to go up because it's WrestleMania season.
Okay, you're not answering
to me,
my question,
that is irrelevant. Ratings are irrelevant. Unless the ratings go to a 5 or a 6 or a 7, ratings are irrelevant.
And if they listen to me, they would.
No, because if they listen to you, John Cena would be a 27-time world champion by now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest here.
No, he wouldn't.
And it's also got to do with Brock as well. I mean, if they decide to go with the AJ Balor route, then it would just show off more reasons why people are tired of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar only puts on good matches when he feels like it.
And I agree with that. And unfortunate problem is not WWE, that's Brock Lesnar.
But that they keep putting him in the position where he has to be in the main event.
And they keep bringing him in. Like, they're not obligated to do it anymore. He was done after SummerSlam. They could have just said, okay, Brock wants to come in and do a match. We don't put him in the Universal title. This whole thing started the way downhill since Crown Jewel, and we all know it.
Mm-hmm.
Brock, to me, the equation ends with Brock Lesnar leaving after the Rumble.
I just think it's funny and laughable that you're looking at a possible AJ style. Again, I'd rather have
I know. It's stupid, but for me, it just exposes more of WWE's creative problem. And it is a problem.
Yeah.
And you could tell me that to not talk about, that we shouldn't bitch about the booking and the writing. If I'm allowed to bitch about saying a movie is bad or a TV show is bad, I should be allowed to say this wrestling show was bad as well. And I'm just not referring to you, I'm referring to that Cage Side Seats link that you sent me a few weeks ago. Oh, I have not forgotten, my friend.
It's not that we're downing Balor versus AJ. There is
no. If that happens, I am okay with it. I am okay with that match.
But on the flip side, it would feel too much like a consolation prize. Like, we could have had Seth versus Balor in a rematch from SummerSlam years ago, but we couldn't because we're too stuck up on Brock Lesnar. But here's AJ and Finn Balor as a consolation prize. It'll go on in the middle of the show. No one will care.
They need to rebuild their main event. Raw needs to rebuild its main event fast. And here's the reality. Brock ain't part of that fucking plan.
As it stands right now, Raw has no main event.
Here's how you fix your main event in 3 months, and it's not a long-term. It is a long-term thing. You need to put Balor, Rollins in there,
and Dino.
Dino's a great foil because that feud isn't over yet. You have Drew McIntyre.
Yes,
right there, plug him in there.
Be a great setup.
And just
those four guys, that's a solid main event core.
And just for shits and giggles, Baron Corbin. Not saying I want him to be Universal Champion, but he can just be there to fill things out.
He is a solid heat getter. I hate his ass, but he's a solid heat getter. That's 5. That's solid right there. And if you want to put Brock Lesnar in there for a few appearances here and there to maybe put over, like, here's a match. You want to keep Brock Lesnar in there? Here's an idea for you. Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre. Tell me you don't want to see that match.
You're funny, Matty.
You want to put Brock Lesnar over as a champion? Have him wrestle one match on Raw.
Yeah.
Just one. Doesn't have to be for the United States. It doesn't be for the Universal title. It doesn't have to be for any other stipulations. It could be a tag match or a multi-man match. Just have him wrestle once to make the belt feel somewhat important again. Because at this point, who would want to actively go after the Universal title? Who would actually want that? Realistically.
Matis, even you don't want that.
What?
Like, at this point, with Daniel Bryan, as hot as he is right now as a heel, there is more value to go after the World Heavyweight title than there is for the Universal title.
Which is
and
why
that's not a bad thing, by the way.
Which is why I think John Cena is a top contender to win the Royal Rumble and face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
You know what?
That's possible.
You know what? There's some story there, actually.
Which is why I love it, because the storyline is just built behind Total Bellas storyline.
The Bellas and everything else, and that would force people to watch the Total Bellas, and no one should have to do that ever.
Yep.
Not even Mike Shell.
Daniel Bryan could get into Cena's ass like, you broke my sister-in-law's heart, which means you broke my wife's heart, which means you broke my heart, John, and now I have to take it out on you. This isn't business anymore, John. This is personal.
It could work.
It's built for it.
It's built. That's not a bad idea.
And
hell, here's how I see like the top 4 or 5 matches. Of course, outside of the requisite Triple H match, which even if it isn't Batista, there's a requisite Triple H match in there. But you take that, you put that in the middle card, you have fun. Main event, Rousey. I think ideally at this point it doesn't matter. I think they said they want to put Charlotte in there, and they put a promise in there. Honestly, I think the best of both worlds would have to be the triple threat. I don't like it either. I'd rather have Rousey, Lynch, Uno.
Just make it a grudge match.
Yeah, but it's probably not going to happen because they want Charlotte in there because they want to force that she main evented the first women's main event WrestleMania thing. Fine, make it a triple threat if you have to, but ideally it'd be Lynch versus Rousey. But a triple threat is acceptable because it still will be a great match. It's two-thirds of the 4 horsewomen of wrestling against Ronda Rousey, who's not a slouch, who's beginning to show that she's not a slouch either.
At least in terms of in-ring stuff.
Yeah, she's good. She's good in there. She'll hold her own, and she could sell. That's always a good thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Cena. I'm gonna go with Cena and Bryan because that's a hell of an idea. Great idea. They should go for it.
Or better yet, it's a long shot, but Shinsuke versus DB somehow.
You're gonna have to rehab a little bit. There's a little bit of rehab with Nakamura, especially now that he's not champion.
I know, with some rehab in there, but.
That's a long-term project for me right there. That's not doable in 3 months. Here's how I see it. DB versus Cena. I see that. Put that in there. Universal title, Balor, Rollins. Build up right there, and you turn Balor heel if you want to. You can do it. He's done it before. He'll do it again.
Or
Universal title. Go.
Or... and this is a crazy one. This is probably the craziest one I've ever thought of as far as potential WrestleMania main events. Or we know that they do let NXT guys wrestle in the Royal Rumble. That is a fact.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you have no title or you have any title, you can wrestle in the Royal Rumble.
If you're thinking NXT title, forget it. Vince ain't gonna go for it.
No, just have Tommaso Ciampa win. That's it.
No. Now we're in fantasy here. Let me finish up the top matches. I had that thought in my head here. So yeah, Balor, Rollins, Universal title. And if you have to have Brock Lesnar in there, put Drew McIntyre in there.
Fatal 4-way.
No. 1-on-1. No fatal 4-way, no bullshit. Balor, Rollins, Universal title, that's it. You know, it's right there. Brock Lesnar shows up, Paul Heyman, and then Drew McIntyre says, I'm sick of your shit. And he starts beating up on Brock.
And it would fit with his current gimmick of just showing how much of an absolute monster he is. It's like, I'm sick and tired of people talking about the great, big, bad Brock Lesnar, but you're not even here. This is my playground now, big man.
The story builds itself.
Yeah.
If you have to have Brock Lesnar in Mania, I'd say put McIntyre in there. It's a hoss battle.
Here's another match I think is going to happen. I don't think they're going to do the triple threat with Ronda. I think it's going to be Ronda and Becky, and I think they're going to do Asuka versus Charlotte too.
That could work. That could work.
Asuka get her win back.
Asuka could get her. Yeah, there's that too. And for right now, in case you've forgotten, Asuka is the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. So there you go. That works. Let's talk about the whole contract thing with AEW. Before we do anything else, quick thoughts on AEW last week. I know you guys, I know Mattis, I know you've been wanting to talk about that since last week.
You know, it just, I have a lot of questions. I thought it was a good
we
rally.
all do. I think we all do, to be fair.
They have a solid roster. Really nothing outside of Pac really coming there was.
But at the same time, it's not nothing's. But it's not a full roster.
Yeah, it's not a full roster.
It is. The usual suspects with a couple of the suspects you were thinking, and then a couple of surprises in there.
But and you can recall this because I told you this weeks before as well.
Yeah,
it is falling in line with what I thought they were going to be doing and partnering with smaller companies and working through them.
But by the way, the Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, again, I will say it again, hype real.
I've been watching some of their stuff. I'm still mixed on what I feel about them. I mean, there's a lot of high spots. They're fun to watch.
Yeah. Would you give me a second? Would you give me 1 second real quick? Just
sure.
Do one thing real quick. Check 1, 2, 3. There we go. You were coming in robotic there. just for my earphones, everything was sounding fine on the method, but I don't want to listen to Dalek and Lionheart all the time, folks. I'm sorry. Quick little reset, and we're moving on.
A lot of my questions are just with the contracts and with the system. I mean, and they're putting themselves on this, because they're doing the PR on equal pay and healthcare and all of that. So I want to know more about that. They just can't say, as far as I'm concerned, they just can't say that and then not.
I think they're just. I think the rally was, here's what we are, here's what we want to do. Oh, by the way, here's this roster. The whole healthcare equal pay thing does not work unless the company works in the first place. They still have to put up a show, at least a solid few shows, and a TV deal. Oh, and and they're only, to me, only announced about a quarter of the roster. So for me, it's like a lot of people were at time as I'm not. They're going to put Rhodes and Bucks. They're going to put themselves over, and I'm like, oh, come on. But Von Erichs, Bill Watts, Vern Gagne comes to mind, and their companies ran fine. I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned really about, okay, when are the tickets coming on sale? When if you have a TV deal, when is the first show coming on the air? When are you going to start taping? Because I'm assuming you're not going to go live unless you're billionaires batshit crazy enough to think, hey, we'll do it live, pal. Every week, brother. I don't think they're crazy enough to pull that off. At least they'll go live with Double or Nothing. I'm not worried about that. But TV-wise, I think the smart money is they're going to tape a few. They're going to put a few matches in the can, a few shows in the can, to make sure they get iron out the wrinkles, because there will be wrinkles.
Yeah, there will be wrinkles.
This is
the other thing is, though, what is ultimately going, because we know they're trying to partner with New Japan and Ring of Honor. And
I don't think they're gonna pull that off. I honestly think it's maybe New Japan.
I don't think they're going to pull that off either, and here's why: because of Sinclair.
Yeah.
And especially if they get a TV deal with somebody who's been rival with Sinclair, Sinclair's not going to like New Japan or Ring of Honor working with them. And so I think it's very possible you're going to have not 2, but 3 different companies competing for the American market by the middle of the year.
You know what? In all fairness, I don't think it's a bad thing either.
I didn't say
because that means yes, the quality will have to go up, the quality of production will have to go up, but we all know the wrestling will be good.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be like, just judging from the, like, you look at Ring of Honor, you look at Impact Wrestling, you look at MLW, which is something I've been watching. That's becoming a regular part of my wrestling diet, because even if it's pre-tape and it's cheesy, I'm not going to lie, but it's a solid hour of wrestling. Their MLW Fusion show.
Yeah.
Oh, so, like, to me, it's yeah, yes, they're going to be competing for that all important viewership, but at the same time, this could only up the game.
Mm-hmm.
Say in the worst case scenario, one has to falter because of X reason. There's still two companies out there, and there's still a viable alternative. And to me, that's not a bad thing. It's an alternative to what you're watching on Monday and Tuesday.
Let's establish something. Nobody is saying that any of this is a bad thing.
Yeah.
These are just questions we have. You know, for instance, when I hear being given a lot of money and working fewer dates, you know, WCW immediately comes to mind, and I'm not saying that AEW was going to be WCW, but
I mean, the billionaire owns a separate company and owns two sports franchises. It's smelling a lot like Ted Turner again, but this time they don't have the TV station. That's the big difference, obviously.
And it's going to depend if they give wrestlers creative control.
I don't think everyone's going to get creative control. Let's not get that crazy, but, you know.
But, you know, the other thing is, and I brought up this hypothetical question to the Riff Down crew I believe it was this past week, or it was the week before. Shin remembers that they danced around like a 24-hour polka.
Let's bring it on. I'll blunt Matty to the rescue on this one.
Okay, so this is a completely hypothetical. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but completely hypothetical. They say they listen to the fans. What happens if the fans want somebody like, I don't know, Enzo Amore?
Ooh. Number one, I don't think a whole lot of fans want Enzo Amore, but I don't think even Enzo wants to be a wrestler anymore.
He's a whore.
He's a whore. He is a magnificent slut.
he is a magnificent slut.
He will take bumps for a whole lot of money, and Tony Khan will pay him. I'm sure.
But again, that goes to the hypothetical. Let's say the fans want him, and he's willing to go. You know, he's obviously not still a horrible wrestler.
I mean, he's not the worst, but he's got an incredible mouth. Hell, he could be a manager.
Let him be a man.
Yeah.
Keep him out of the ring.
But that also then brings up the question of advertising. And, you know, to get a TV deal means to work with advertisers who may not be so happy with certain gimmicks. So, say a Joey Ryan, you know, advertisers may not be happy with that gimmick. If they bring Joey Ryan on and he's not doing his dick gimmick and the penis druids.
First off, you and I both know Joey Ryan could get along just fine without the penis gimmick. Lucha Underground is a good example of that.
Yeah.
I agree. I believe he can. There are fans, though, that like him purely for that gimmick, though.
And to those people, I say, watch him before the penis gimmick. That's all I can say. He was good without the gimmick. The gimmick literally came out of a Japanese dude. Like, this is out of DDT Pro in Japan. Which, by the way, that's interspecies wrestling, Chikara. That's literally comedy wrestling.
But there are people that want that.
And, you know, and that's fair. But if you want that and you're not getting it, then guess what? There's going to be like a whole lot more. There's going to be a whole lot more. From other guys. I say whatever. My answer is and?
Well, my point that I'm getting at is there could be there could be fans who fall disappointed thinking that
over one guy out of like a roster of probably 50 or 60? Then turn Joey Ryan heel then.
But what I'm saying
like,
is...
we're overthinking over a guy's penis, for God's sakes. Again. Second time in a show, for fuck's sake.
Again, though,
we are overthinking one man's gimmick here. Like, if that one fan is disappointed that he's not using the penis flex, guess what? A lot of the lower tier people are not going to be exclusive to AEW. They're going to go to indie. They're going to be allowed to work indie feds. Go to those indie feds. That's my answer.
What I'm saying is that they can possibly run the risk.
They could, and they could. I mean, if they market it as a TV 14 and let their advertisers know, hey, here's what we have, and be upfront, then certain advertisers will back out, and other advertisers will go, we can make money. Let's make a deal.
But my point is that if they listen to the advertisers and they don't have that, and fans were expecting AEW to be one thing and it turns out to be another, they run the risk of losing those fans. I'm not saying.
And then they run the risk of getting more other fans. Like, here's the thing. This is the pitfall. This is a pitfall of professional wrestling on a day-to-day basis. What you're saying, that's not new.
I know.
The only thing that's new is the company.
But there are a lot of fans acting like AEW isn't going to have to worry about these risks.
And let those fans be. This is probably the first time in a long time where fans could actually be excited about something new. I think right now you're trying to find a way to be a party pooper when really, let's just see what happens. I'm with you. I'm cautiously optimistic. But I don't want to be a wet blanket on this.
I'm optimistic too, but I'm also, let's not completely ignore.
Say what it is. You're cautiously optimistic. You're cautiously optimistic. So am I. I'm thinking, okay, so you got Chris Jericho. What, cool. Who else you want to bring in? Oh, Pac? Okay, he hasn't been relevant in the mainstream in a couple of years, thanks to Vince and the cruiserweight division of the world. Thank you, Enzo goddamn Amore, for that. But with Tony Khan,
look how many times this week Chris Jericho had to clarify that him and Vince, that Vince knew he was going, that him and Vince had an admiral talk, that they had a handshake agreement, that there's no bad blood.
Yeah.
Because fans want there to be bad blood.
Because they want a war. You and I are not expecting. Here's the thing. People expecting a war between AEW and WWE are coming into this in the wrongest way possible.
I agree.
And you're going to go, oh, they're going to turn off. I don't think they're going to tune in expecting, some jabs, what you see on Being the Elite. And that's fair. That's what All In was, really.
Yes.
But here's the thing about All Elite Wrestling and Double or Nothing. There's going to be people expecting one thing. And yeah, they're probably going to be disappointed they're not expecting another 3-hour-long episode of Being the Elite. But if they are truly a wrestling fan, like the three of us are, they're going to look at Double or Nothing. Hey, you know what? Knock on wood, it's a solid show with great wrestling. That's still a good thing.
I'll say it like this. I've been recently talking to some folks on the CBR Rumbles forums. One of them who was in my tournament coming up, and I said, basically, if you're not a wrestling fan or you haven't been watching wrestling, these last 2 weeks have been a very, very exciting time for wrestling that you should be watching. And he said that he hasn't seen an episode of Raw or SmackDown. He was just burnt out. He hasn't watched an episode since like February of last year. And he told me he was excited for All In. He was going to watch it because it was going to give him something that he's wanted from the WWE for a long time.
Which is Attitude Era stuff, which is amazing then that they
not just I don't think we're looking for Attitude Era stuff. I'm not.
I was looking for Attitude Era stuff. People keep see that's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, they should go back to the Attitude Era." The Attitude Era. Look, after watching lots of episodes of OSW reviews as well as old school pay-per-view reviews from Brian Zane, I've come to the conclusion that the Attitude Era wasn't as good as we remember it. It had a lot of shocking stuff, but it also had a lot of cringy and terrible stuff, to say the least. So people who say that kind of shit, they're still looking at it through rose-colored glasses. The Attitude Era came about because it was Vince's response to what was going on with WCW. That's where it came from.
And current culture at the time.
And current culture.
And the popular culture, because 96, 97, 98, 99, what was playing? Celebrity Deathmatch. The Jerry Springer Show.
Yep. And
the hottest thing in the mid-90s to 2000 was the Jerry Springer Show.
Yeah. So you can't. So people expecting this to be return the Attitude Era are idiots and not real wrestling fans, because the Attitude Era was the product of the times.
Well, I'm glad you're saying it, because I do think there is I think it's a minority, but I do think that there is a sizable minority of that within the fan base of people who want alternatives from WWE. And maybe not people you know or that we know, but like when you read, like I was watching the rally and I was looking at the comments being put on the live feed and just some of the ridiculous stuff about, WWE being afraid. No, WWE is treating AEW like competition, like it wants to be.
They're doing what their fears. I'd say maybe, but I think the right word here is concerned.
Yeah,
because they see the amount of noise they're making and the amount of money they're offering.
Yeah,
let's not go la 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 like blockers. No, they know. They know.
Yeah, but this is standard business. If you're a business and a new competitor comes in, of course, concerned would be a right word. So you do certain business things. That doesn't mean you're
locking up the contracts and making sure people don't leave for that other company that you don't want to succeed, which is a fair thing to assume.
But yeah, here is my thing on this. That people say they want the Attitude Era back. The Attitude Era was a product of its time. You can't, like, I've said this before, I haven't said it on the show, but I've said this before on the forum, like, you can't do booking for the Attitude Era in the golden age of wrestling, in the 70s to 80s. Just wouldn't work. You can't do booking like you can't do Attitude Era booking in the Ruthless Aggression Era. It just don't work.
Let's put it this way. If you want the Attitude Era in 2018, number one, Sable would have been sacked. The amount of good women's wrestling, Sable would not have made it. Sex appeal, in spite of what Vince McMahon may think this week, isn't enough. It's not going to be enough to sell, especially in women's wrestling now.
Well, we've seen great women's wrestling from not just the WWE, but from almost a lot of promotions out there. This kind of tactic is played out. We don't just want puppies and titties and asses and poontang all up in our faces. We want the women to be taken seriously. We want to see legitimately good women's wrestling, which we have had the last couple of years.
We have had that. And I agree with, as far as the Attitude Era, the reason I'm bringing that up is because of the past two segments we saw on Raw and SmackDown. Yeah. Because there are a lot of people saying, it was their attempt to return the Attitude. No,
that's just trying to...
As far as the Alexa Bliss segment was concerned, the question you should have been asking is, well, if she's right there, why couldn't she hear him? It was obviously her being a heel and using something to cost a man his job. That's a horrible thing for her to do. That's supposed to make you hate her. There's nothing supposed to be sexy about that segment.
But at the same time, the perception of a sexy woman, Mandy Rose, I'm sorry, you could defend the Alexa Bliss thing, it's fine, but the Mandy Rose thing? Look, dude, that was blatant.
I mentioned that on
again. Heel heat. True, but at the same time, you're pretty much flaunting someone in her lingerie.
I said this on the Rift Downs when the segment came up. If Naomi believes this shit, believes all those photographs and believed it without turning on her fucking TV, then she is the dumbest idiot ever. Thankfully, she wasn't.
That's why she was there, because like I knew as soon as he got it up, they're gonna do this to where she's gonna try to seduce him to get blackmail, but he's gonna have brought Naomi. I knew that's what they're gonna do, and that's what they did.
But here's what I'll say about the whole AEW thing. All right, you gotta for people who are just chiming about the Attitude Era. Here's the thing: we as wrestling fans, it's a different world back then. Remember back then, we only had 3 options. Well, we only had 2 options and maybe a third one. We had WWF, we had WCW, and maybe if you were lucky on your cable dial, you had ECW. That was it. That's all the wrestling we could get. Nowadays, we can watch wrestling any day of the week. We can watch wrestling all week if we wanted to. We've seen that there's a lot more out there in the world, and we expect the WWE as the flag bearer, the supposed standard bearer, the top dog, to be able to match up to the quality of these supposed quote-unquote indie promotions. And this is what AEW is going to provide. It's going to provide, hey, we're not going to have writers. We're not going to have some puppets talking on screen. We're not going to have interviewers just asking questions and doing shit. We're not going to have FUBAR matches, or we're going to have good quality wrestling. This is what you guys want, and this is what we're going to provide for you. This is not an age of rivalries. This is an age of alternatives. We have choices, and I think that's the main reason why I think AEW is going to succeed. Not rival the WWE, but just be an alternative.
And being an alternative is good, but what I think is ultimately going to happen is you're going to see possibly it swallow up and within a couple years smaller companies. Like you're going to have MLW that is now has 3 competitors to have to compete for time for.
Man,
you're making it sound like it's all doom and gloom, dude.
I'm not saying it's doom and gloom, but I'm just saying there are certain risks and there are certain ways to look at it, and we have to look at all of them.
Like the only mistake I could see them making is one that WCW made and one that TNA made, was to bring in a lot of older wrestlers who don't really care about the product and are just there for the paycheck.
And that happened when they were trying to break through their ceiling, because if you're an alternative, there's going to be a certain ceiling you're going to hit. But once you want to try to be competitive with the WWE, there are certain things you need to do, and that's where both TNA and WCW went awry. Though WCW was a little bit more successful.
A little more successful because they were able to market away, and well, Bischoff in the NWO. With TNA, they had the roster for it, and then they decided, hey, let's become WCW 2.0 and bring in all of these old people. Some of them cared. Kurt, Sting, Christian.
They cared.
They cared. But the majority just saw it as just another way to suck up some billionaire money. Nash, Hall, sorry boys, that's the truth.
And we might see some of that later, because I've seen a lot of. We already know Billy Gunn is working backstage,
but he's just a producer.
I know
this was announced that he's a producer, and that's it.
I'm not gonna say he's gonna try to do some crazy shit. I don't know what he's like as a backstage guy, so I'm not gonna say for or against. And Tommy Dreamer says that he'll work with Cody and the Bucks as a thank you for helping him get House of Hardcore off the ground. But then we got guys like Animal, who says he wants to come in and help with the tag division. I'm not too sure.
No, I think he's just he's talking hot air.
I know, but
keep in mind, this is the same guy that says Becky Lynch should shut up about being the man business. And by the way, in that particular case, I'm sorry, Mr. Road Warrior Animal, you are wrong.
Yeah, that's why I'm so iffy on him. If this is a big if they decide to bring him in, I'd say put him on a trial basis just to see what he can do as far as working with the tag teams go. Don't put him on any kind of permanent contract. Just if I want to say it, if that's the right word for it, I'm not sure. But yeah, hell, if the rumors are true, hell, Goldust might be jumping ship and joining his brother. So who knows? But
I believe Goldust. Yeah, I think if his contract's running up this year, I think that might be a foregone conclusion.
And I could see him putting over some of the younger guys in the ring and working with them outside the ring, because Dustin Runnels knows his wrestling. He
is a master psychologist.
And that could be just what AEW needs, someone who knows ring psychology as well as Goldust does. I mean, the only other person I could think of that could get is Jake Roberts.
That's if Jay Frauds just wants to do backstage stuff, and
I know
he could probably do it.
Yeah, and where he is in his life, I could see him wanting to give back, show the younger guys what the ropes are. But that's the only hurdle I see them having. The only
check 1 2.
You there, Shin?
Uh-oh.
You can hear me still, right?
Oh, there we go. Do we hear you? Hello?
Hello?
Try that again. Try that again.
Hello?
We hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Damn.
All right. Try that again.
All right. Like I said, this is, for me, that's the only hurdle that AEW has as of right now. Just they need to avoid those who are just coming into AEW just for a paycheck, and just get those they know are there to build up the brand and build up the talent and try to get this thing off the ground, like Tommy Dreamer. I know Dreamer will. If the Bucks and Cody bring him in, I know Tommy's going to work his ass off to get to get things running and teach these youngsters how to do what he does best, and just be helpful, because that's just how Tommy Dreamer is.
I'm going to bring up one more thing, and that's Tony Khan himself, the guy that is the owner / president of AEW. A lot of people might think, oh, he's not a true wrestling fan. He just sees a way to make some money, and that's a fair point. But I was listening to Tell a Monster Sounds Off, and he was talking about Tony Khan, and he had heard a name that impressed him. I forgot the name, but he was mentioning the name of a tape trader back from the ECW days. And I think that, to me, is like, okay, not only did he go to the ECW shows when he was back when it was a hot ticket, he was tape trading. Which, for those who don't know, back in the 90s, that's pretty much the internet right there.
Let's clarify something. It's not the father, it's the son.
The son, not
the father who actually owns all.
Though the fact that he's smiling and he's happy that he's happy to see that everything's running smoothly, and he's smiling, he's happy, he's that place. That's not a bad sign either. But the fact that Tony Khan is a old school tape trader and is a true wrestling fan, who is willing to... That, to me, is like, okay, they're in on this. No matter what happens, they're in for, at the very least, the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
And that no matter what happens, no matter what happens,
for at least 3 to 5 years.
He's in it to win it.
Yep.
And... Tell me if that's a bad thing. Because the last time I checked, I don't think the people at the Panda Company, the Carter family, were. Dixie might have been a wrestling fan, but the Carter family just fed it money until they decided to not feed it money. So,
yep.
In lies the problem there. But now, you got a guy that is a wrestling fan and a father who is liking what he sees, and they're throwing money, big money. This again, which fuels the rumor mill. And Mattis, you brought this up to you and to myself and to Shin earlier today. Maria Kanellis killing the rumors of she and Mike Bennett, or Kanellis. I call him the prodigy Mike Bennett. I'm sorry. Gimmick or no gimmick, he's Mike Bennett, damn it. Requesting the releases along with the Revival and of all people today, allegedly Dolph Ziggler as well?
Well, I have answers for all three of those questions.
Yeah.
So, for both the Canellises and for the Revival, they're both in storylines that are about them being unhappy with management. So that just screams, whenever somebody's in a storyline like that and then rumors of them, oh, they're going to quit on the spot, that just screams to me that they're feeding the dirt sheets this information to make people believe they're really unhappy because that's the storyline.
I'm going to drop the Canellises because when one of them says, no, we're still locked in, we're not leaving yet, I'll take it at face value. We're taking that on the table, off the table. Now, Dolph Ziggler surprised me a little bit. We'll get back to the Revival because there's some discussion to be had there. But with Dolph
Ziggler, the reason I think his name went up like that was because he's doing. Remember, he also does comedy.
Yeah.
And that's the name he uses for his comedy sets. And everybody's talking about, well, he's selling T-shirts at Pro Wrestling Tee. But they're shirts that are based off the comedy routine that he does with his partner.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something outside of WWE, which I do believe that they would have permission to do.
Technically, but there's a whole lot of legal loopholes that I don't think we have time to go in there.
We're not trained lions.
Yeah. We are not trained professional lawyers. Much as we'd like to be because we'd be paid more. Then there's the Revival, and I'm like, yeah, you say they're working the dirt sheets, and you know what? They've been working people. They've had things like Forever the Revival. They're keen on working social media. That I can agree with you on that. But in this case, I have to ask, who's working who here? Because when you hear the Revival, they ask for the release, and then I think it could be just them, storyline, and then you hear within a very short time period, one of the Revival, copywriting hashtag FTR for themselves instead of just WWE. I'm like, okay, who's working who here? A part of me wants to believe you, and so they're just trying to get some attention and behind the they went over Vince's helmet again. They're back in the freaking hell you go. You're gonna drop to the Lucha Dragons to tell you die, you fuckers. And then there's a part of me going, well, what if this time? What if they really thinking about it this time?
Well, the hard part is, I've been saying they've been jobbing the past 3 weeks. Well, no, they haven't.
Yeah, I think the only job they did was losing the tag title match, which I'm like, honestly, they should have put the belts on the Revival myself. But that's But
the whole storyline again, that the idea that because Seth Rollins put the idea in fans' head that management is against the Revival, and so they've been rolling with that.
Yeah.
So the 2 matches where they were competing against Gable and Rude, and the referees kept making a mistake, feed into that. So now they've decided to take it into their own hands, and they cheated to win against the Lucha Dragons, feeding into that whole they're in the gray area. They're not heels, they're not faces, they're sort of tweeners, but they're going to work it in a good way because they have a lot of support from the fans. And you heard that on commentary from both Corey Graves and, goddamn, I'm blanking on her name. Help me out, Matty. Not Michael Cole.
Corey Graves?
I said Corey Graves.
So it's Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Renee Young.
Renee Young. So Renee Young and Corey Graves were going at it with Michael Cole about how the Revival had been screwed. So.
Yeah. This is one of those, again, this is like the heavy rumor because, well, AEW starts and the Revival have this thing against the Young Bucks for some reason, or the Young Bucks have this thing. That's just fed the rumor mill. I'm thinking, here's how I'm thinking this. Say the contracts run up at X time. I'm not expecting either one of the names that have been mentioned. Like, say if the releases are granted, whatever, that's fine. I'm not seeing anybody at Double or Nothing. I'm not expecting anybody at Double or Nothing. Here's how I see it. I'm going to say it the same way I see with guys like AJ Styles or Kenny Omega or whatever. Which, by the way, the rumor has it he's signed. I was like, he can't sign shit until February 1st, folks. That's the reality. His contract goes until February 1st. Ain't nothing happened till then. Here's how I see it. Do I see maybe Kenny Omega Double or Nothing? I'd say more than likely than not, but there's that 11th hour offer that Vince and company might give him. But again, it's all rumor and hearsay. And by the way, for those people who are expecting Kenny Omega the Rumble, same reason why don't expect Kenny Omega to show up until February 1st. He ain't going to the Rumble, folks. His New Japan contract will tell you otherwise, believe me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not expecting Kenny Omega in the Rumble. I'm not expecting guys like the Revival or Mike Bennett back in the Indies with AEW. If nothing else, I think Mike Bennett might be a better fit in Ring of Honor still. That would be a great wrinkle for Ring of Honor.
I think there's more of an opportunity for stars from Impact or Ring of Honor to end up with AEW than there are really many stars from WWE. In regards to Kenny Omega, it's the same thing I would say to any wrestler out there. If you want to go to AEW, go because you want to go to AEW. Don't go because the fans say that you need to go to AEW because they think that they're misusing you. And I think that was what I found great about Maria's reply. Because it's like you have a bunch of fans basically telling them they're misusing you and they know nothing about what's going on.
Yeah. And to be fair, let's be honest here. Yeah, underutilized maybe, but keep in mind, Mike Bennett's been gone the majority of about 18 months because he was fighting painkiller addictions.
Actually, no, he wasn't.
Well, he was still fighting an addiction. He was drug abuse, something like that. He was in rehab for over a couple years, wasn't he?
No, Maria actually said in her comments that people are saying that he's been rehabbing. He's never been rehabbing. He's been rehabbing an injury.
First time I heard of that.
Well, it should be in the comments that I sent you.
First time Meltzer has been wrong for a while. Anyway. Whatever it is, it's okay, fair enough. And also, there's another fact. Maria Kanellis was very pregnant and had child. Here's something we're not going to disagree or argue over. So there you go. So if nothing else, if they're leaving, I'll be surprised. But I would probably see him in Ring of Honor more than anything else. The prodigy Mike Bennett comes back for what he wants, the Ring of Honor World title. Though at this point, the character would have morphed so much that I don't think it would, Can you guys even hear me right now?
No, yeah, I am. I'm sorry. I'm looking for the comments from.
I'm just listening to you.
Because
but I do have them here now, and I'm reading it now. As a matter of fact, but yeah, Cage Side Seats. Which, by the way, why do you believe Cage Side Seats? NoDQ.com, dude.
Here it is. So here's the tweet. Social media fact check. Mike never went to rehab anywhere. He was on the road with me rehabbing. We were on house shows. He never took time off to rehab. He worked through it.
All right.
These are tweets that she sent out. So, I do cage side seats because I think they're neutral, and that's why I generally follow them.
All right, that's fair enough.
So,
okay.
Hey, you know what? I think No DQ just sticks to what they. So here's what happened. Here's the thing. Anyway, let's what do we have news wise? Let's see some news. 7 things. NXT happened. They have Gargano versus Ricochet for the North American title. Yes.
Yes. Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno has been announced.
Yes.
Which, by the way, yes, it's a feud, and yes, again, but who cares? They're still good. They're still good together.
Yes. Matt Riddle.
It's just a little rematch. It's still good. It's still good.
Yes.
Bianca Blair versus.
Which, by the way, I think that might be the sleeper match.
It might be. Also, I do believe it was actually announced Saturday. Was at the Royal Rumble, or at least at the Access.
Yeah, they're making a tournament with people from 205 Live, NXT UK, NXT. Basically, the winner of the tournament gets a spot in the Rumble. Essentially,
no, actually, they get a title opportunity.
Oh, wait, what?
So the way it is they're going to have a battle royal to depend, basically to seed them, and then they're going to have a tournament, and whoever wins the tournament is going to get their opportunity at either the NXT, NXT UK, or
the Cruiserweight Championship. Yeah, okay. I misread that. Anyway, so that's the thing that's going to happen. MLW, they had the Singing Hurricane match with Tommy Dreamer and Brian Pillman Jr., which, by the way, here's a name I could kind of expect it in AEW. If not this year, maybe next year. They got MJF, right? Brian Pillman Jr. I could kind of see Brian Pillman Jr. in there.
I expect to see Brian Pillman Jr. I expect to see the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon, El Zero, and I'm blanking on names all of a sudden.
You're expecting a lot of names, and you're thinking, maybe not, but we'll see. We'll see. It is, if nothing else, it is an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, because all of the things, the trade talks and everything else, you're just thinking, okay, who is winding up where now?
And I think by June we're going to have a better view of everything.
Yeah.
But I am going to predict two things, and that is, I do think there's going to be not a two-way battle, but a three-way battle, because I think the three camps are going to be AEW and all the little independents, Ring of Honor and New Japan, and WWE. I also think that by the end of the year, Impact is going to sell their library and be with somebody or tied to somebody.
But you're not saying with WWE. I don't think they're going to sell, to be honest.
I think the best thing would be for them to sell the library to WWE and then partner up with AEW. But they could also sell the library to AEW. That way, if they start their own streaming service or something, they have a library that people can then go watch.
Again, it's a bold prediction, but it is on tape, as we say. Well, we'll see. We'll see. A lot of shit to happen before now in June or May, or Heck, I don't know if I'm going to I don't know if I'm going to Double or Nothing or just going to see NXT. Here's what I know I'm doing. No matter what happens, I'm taking the train to Toronto. I'm going to see NXT TakeOver Toronto. I don't know about SummerSlam weekend as a whole, but I know for a fact that if I could get away with it, I'm going to Toronto for a...
Wait, is SummerSlam in Toronto this year?
SummerSlam is in Toronto this year.
Oh, I forgot.
Not bad.
You guys seem surprised by that. I've been knowing about that since like November, something like that.
I forgot that SummerSlam was going to be in Toronto next year.
I don't keep track of what's going on up in Bizarro Land.
Here's a spoiler alert. It's fucking cold.
Good. Send some of that cold down here. We need
it. No, you don't need it. You do not need this cold.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
No,
yes,
you don't.
Yes, we do.
One Fahrenheit? You sure you want 1 Fahrenheit up down there?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yes.
No, you don't. Oh,
yes.
Let me answer the question. No, you don't.
Better than 60.
You sure about that?
Yes.
All right, your funeral, pal. Anyway, let's do winners and losers. Shall we? I will begin with you, Mattis, with your losers first.
Losers, dirt sheets, because I think they're getting played.
That's fair enough.
And, oh God, I really can't think of any other losers, because it's been a really good week of wrestling.
You say that, but I got a couple in there. Shen.
Let's go with the D-Cell Battery Award.
Hello,
baby.
hello.
It's not a
Who
wrestler
gets that infamous battery?
It's not a wrestler per se, but Soldier Boy, just you are, and anyone who supports him. I mean, why didn't you learn? You damn near got off scot-free. You got warned or whatever. And you took down your system, and now you're trying to pass off a Vita to you? And hell, I saw that Breakfast Club interview, and people are like, oh, Soldier Boy is so smart. He is so wise, and he's so intelligent. People only get wise and intelligent when they do shitty stuff. And he did some shitty stuff. And I told my friend, like, it's wise, and if he's so wise, then why is he about to get his ass fucked over by Nintendo and Sony for stealing their shit? And why is he begging for money? So, but as for my general losers, the only ones I can think of right now are the Alexa Bliss and Mandy Rose segments. I just didn't care for them. And, is his name Dozer from Heavy Machinery?
Dozovic, yeah.
Dozovic, yeah.
The one that was screaming upset.
That's what I was trying to remember. What was
the one guy at the Moment of Bliss on Monday? Yeah, I'm not gonna give him a loser for that. That's WWE.
Like what was he like? No, I had closed caption on my TV, and even it couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying.
Shaka
It just had. I shit you not. It just had question mark under him when he said that. I shit you not. That's what happened.
Stay tuned to the stinger. That's all I'm going to say there. Anyway, for me, WWE, for the way they handled... I mean, I know they're trying to put some heel heat on Alexa Bliss. That's fair enough. But did you really have to be topless? Think about that. The answer is no. Not in 2019. And Mandy Rose, for that same reason. I was like, seriously? The hotel... Are we really going to go for that? Vince, lay off the Viagra. But I got a serious one. Superstar Billy Graham. Look.
What do you do?
He pretty much went on his Twitter machine, his blog machine, and he went pretty much tried to bury Finn Balor because he doesn't believe Finn Balor should be Universal Heavyweight Champion again.
God damn it.
He's trying. I'm going to repeat the same tweet I sent out to the Sullen Monster who actually shared that link, and I said, is it sad that when I hear Billy Graham rants about blank, I immediately think back to The Simpsons, old man yells at cloud gag? Because that's how I'm seeing this. Like, I don't mean any disrespect to Billy Graham. He's a fucking legend. Like, he's inspired Hulk Hogan, for fuck's sake. That's huge. But at the same time, people like him and Jim Cornette are, like, stuck in, like, these things where this is not what wrestling should be. Finn Balor should not be your world champion. Yes, he should be world champion. Why? Because he's a
workhorse.
Thank you. Like, for me, I hear he says Finn Balor is unworthy, and I think he does. Bitch, do you even watch what wrestling is in 2019? That's seriously. Come back to me when you have an actual opinion. and I mean that with the utmost respect. I don't think you have a right opinion. I believe you are wrong, sir. And you have obviously not seen Finn Balor wrestle more outside of the WWE main roster system. Anyway, let's do winners, and I got a few of them in there. Mattis, how about them winners?
So first off, Rey Mysterio and Andrade for literally the best match of the week.
I don't think we're going to argue on that one. Yeah, that was match of the week. Easily.
Finn Balor for getting the #1 contendership.
Yeah.
John Cena for proving why he is the greatest ever for putting Finn Balor over.
Let's not suck his dick again, man.
Too late.
Braun Strowman, because if they keep their promise, Braun Strowman's going to go destroy WWE headquarters.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, and I saw it and somebody brought it up, the fact that he said that if Stephanie screws him on the deal, he was going to go to WWE headquarters and tear it up.
Oh, fuck. Do they want to... Oh, my God. Are they going to keep continuity? I hope now.
Because if they do that, that would really get him over.
Yeah.
And last, the tag team division. Because I think the tag team division for the past 2 weeks, has been very good on both sides, honestly. Chad Gable, Brood, The Revival, Usos.
You know what? If we're going to do that, let's add the NXT tag division as well, and especially UK tag division. They had a hot hand on Saturday as well.
I'm enjoying all the tag team storylines going on right now.
Well, I say lump the NXT tag division in there. They had the UK tag division in there, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Shin. Oh, and one more thing. Everybody associated with NXT UK.
That's an obvious one, but also fair.
Including Walter.
Shin. And that goes without saying, Shin.
I won't give NXT UK a win because I have not seen it yet, and it wouldn't be fair to give something a win that you haven't seen yet. But as for my other winners, somebody get the broom. Matty, could you get the broom?
Yeah, sure. What do we need the broom for?
Got a sweep over here. Sweep match of the week, which is Cien and Andrade Cien Almas versus
Thank you.
Rey Mysterio.
Don't know why they removed the Cien Almas in that. That's a good fucking name, Vince. Again, Sell a Monster on my Twitter feed. A solution looking for a problem to solve. Seriously, what was wrong with that?
Yeah, that was almost like a New Japan level match right there. It just felt, it had a lot of New Japan vibes to it, at least to me anyway. The WWE Women's Tag Team belts, those things looked.
They look beautiful. They do.
Yep. Of course, Mr. Finn Balor for getting that spot, and for John Cena actually not only letting him eat the pin, but putting him over afterwards.
All right. For me, it's gonna be. Can we get the broom for John Cena? I will give him winner because #1, giving Finn Balor the rub and a good endorsement like that, I don't think it happens every day. So the thumbs up there. Becky Lynch, because her Twitter game, as per always. And she random quote of the week. I saw that earlier tonight. She does. And I shook Stone Cold Steve Austin's hand once. It was lukewarm though. It was more room temperature. Over a response of a random tweet, she's just like, Chris Jericho, because of his appearance on Busted Open Radio and then his podcast, explained the whole reason why he did that and the whole timeline of it. Also for that wonderful image of, like, of course, Jacksonville last week, the whole pyro blowing up. And he goes, I can only imagine, old man, well, someone shot that pyro off, damn it! It's a wonderful image. It's what I'm going to say there. NXT TakeOver UK or NXT UK TakeOver. Congratulations for those people as well. And I don't have the picture, but just Selena Vega as Jade. Whopper cosplay. Just beautiful.
Aleister Black will make you fade to black. If you go anywhere near her, Matty.
You know what? That's fair. You know what? That's fair enough. I'll just stand by and people watch the shit out of that cosplay. That is a Aleister Black. You are a lucky man. That's all I'm gonna say there.
Mm-hmm.
That she is a keeper, my friend. Shin, we gotta plug your book. I don't have to plug here, but I will say this: I have purchased New World by this gentleman over here. Mm-hmm. I would give a review on Amazon, but Amazon says I'm not allowed to do so, so Amazon can kiss my dick on that. But I'll give you one right here. I think it's a good book. Love the themes, love the relationships. I think it's a good book. You should read it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And of course, another tournament for another Smash All CPU tournament coming up tomorrow as well on your channel.
Actually, it's on Sunday.
On Sunday, thank you. All right.
Yep, Sunday I'll be having the second ever Super Smash Bros. Annihilation Tournament. Pokemon's Revenge. That's right. Ooh. All stages will be Pokemon themed. All items will be Pokeballs.
Ooh.
So people will be trying their luck and seeing what kind of Pokemon they'll get. Will it help them? Will it hurt them? Find out. But so far we got 31 combatants. I could use one more.
Put me in as Sheik. Is she still available?
You're already in.
Oh, good. All right, awesome.
Yeah, you
Dolphin.
Yeah.
I'm Cloud again.
Evil Rev, you could be in it too. We got one space for one more. Let me know, man. Let me know on Twitter. But other than that, I posted a new video for my Mobile Horde series called Casualty of Science, starring a rather interesting character, Gorman the Wolf, who is a rogue alchemist who must now explain why there is a dead girl in his bed to a very tired and pissed off inspector. It's a very good story. You can find all this. You can find my stream on my YouTube. Right. And Matty, if you want to leave a review, Matty, try Goodreads. I'm also on there.
Goodreads?
Yeah, Goodreads.com.
Gotcha.
All right, and that's all my.
Mattis, you already said you already 100th episode up there, so we'll plug that site one more time.
Yes, go to YouTube, search for the Absolution Network, of course, like and subscribe to us. The epic 100th episode, the first episode of the video era of CMJ's Wrestling Reviews, is now up. Of course, I have Tom's Prerogative. I'm going to be starting on the next episode sometime next week, so hopefully that will be out by the week's end. And, of course, always check out the website, which Shin is also a part of at www.an.132productions.com.
And all that good stuff. You can follow me on Twitter at MattyJ316. You can follow these gentlemen, Shintigercurl at Captain Luffy, and Matis at Matis LeonHart on Twitter. Of course, don't forget T-Dub. Follow him at TWK Official as well. His Patreon, patreon.com/TWK Reviews. Of course, paypal.me/MattyJ316. Any monies is always welcome. That being said, of course, you want the schedule, ! Schedule on our chat. We'll tell you what's going up. My next show's Toku Riffs Live, as per usual. I believe we're back to our regular schedule of stuff and things. Except for not doing classics this way. I think we're just doing a little bit of a 2-for-2 catch-up, if you know what I mean. And I believe you do. Oh, God. Double the Waz. Spoiler alert for those who watch Toku Riffs Live. I do not like Waz. Kamen Rider G.O. Just saying. But that being said, by the way, guys, thank you. Thank you for stepping in. Especially you, Shin. That was kind of last minute on my end there.
Hey, you ask, I'm there, man.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
That being said, we thank you very much for coming in and saying hi to us for the last few minutes. That was a good show, boys. Honestly.
That was, yeah. Very good.
T-Dub will be back next week. I believe we're doing the Rumble next week. We're doing the Rumble previews extravaganza next week. Takeover, the Rumble, and all that good stuff.
Rumble.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That being said, on behalf of Shintigercurl.
Time to deliver a pizza ball!
Oh, God. And that is Leonhart.
Remember that I am the most glorious Jew that ever lived in your wrestling, Rabbi, so just sit back and bask in my glory, bro.
By the way, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, NXT Tag Champs. Book it, Hunter. I'm the only one who could see that. I could fucking work. My name's Matty Jay, reminding how professional wrestling supports your independent promotion. As soon as possible, we shall talk to you next week for the big one, the show starter in this case. Have a good one, have a safe one. I'm gonna play me some Nintendo Switch now. Good night, everybody. Bye, bye, bye.
Hey, eye contact. You make eye contact with me, I make eye contact with you. That...
What the? What is that? Corey, that is Otis Goshevek of the Heavy Machinery Tag Team.
This show ain't no good.